Hey guys, what is up? It's your girl, Grace Tori, and I am back with a whole new podcast episode. I have started spring cleaning. It is March 2nd, meaning spring is kind of here. The weather has been better, which means that in my head it's spring, so I've started cleaning. And with that means that things have been boring. To bring some sprinkle of fun into the process of spring cleaning, I wanted to do some Reddit stories, a little bit of petty revenge, a little bit of am I the a-hole, to make it a little bit more fun, you know? Hear about other people's pettiness and problems when it comes to spring cleaning to make me feel a little bit better about mine. If you're also spring cleaning or you love to hear about drama, this is the episode for you. We are going to be talking about, like I said, petty revenge and am I the a-hole when it comes to cleaning. So before I jump in, if you guys were expecting an episode last week, understandable. I was supposed to post an episode last week. I was sick and my voice was just like gone. Was not here. Couldn't find her. And so I couldn't really talk to do a podcast episode. I posted about this on my Instagram, but if you missed that, it will always be on my announcements highlight on my Instagram. If you're ever like, why didn't she post? I'll always post a reason on there. And yeah, so I'm happy to be back. It's good to be back. I'm still not feeling 10 out of 10, but it's fine. It's that time in the year, like, we're good. Before I jump in, don't forget to follow on whatever platform you're currently listening or watching on, as well as Instagram, TikTok, all those things. I'll have it linked down below. Don't forget to comment, like, and all those things. It really helps out. It's free, and it takes about 2 seconds, so you'd be the best person ever if you did that. So, yeah, let's go ahead and jump on in now. I'm Grace Tori, and you're listening to That Girl, the podcast. Grab a beverage of choice and settle in, because the new episode is starting now. Annoying neighbors and my petty revenge. Ever since I moved in a year ago, my neighbors have been nothing but annoying and rude to me. Background: they used to live in my house and now live in the house directly next door. Our street is a row of semi-detached townhouses. We share a wall, the front yard, and a front porch with a small divider. They sit on their front porch the majority of the year, like morning to night. They're always out there. They've done a bunch of really annoying stuff, some outright rude, some I should have called by law on, and I have had to install a camera because of theft, which I can't say is them or not, but I strongly suspect them because of the items taken. Other neighbors don't like them either, I've found out as I've started to meet people. The icing on the cake, as it were, was about 2 weeks ago. I did some major spring cleaning on the weekend, and it was now Monday. Garbage day is Tuesday at the crack of dawn, except we've also had a skunk coyote problem and all 3 bags don't fit in my garbage canister. One has to stay out. So I put the bags on my front porch late afternoon right by the steps so they are ready and I can bring them out the next morning at 6:45. I leave to go grocery shopping. About 15 minutes later at the store, I'm getting texts from the other neighbors. She has taken a picture of my garbage on my porch and posted in the neighborhood Facebook group about how I am young, LOL, I'm 38, and lazy, occasionally fair, and this garbage has been smelling up her porch for weeks. 20 minutes. And it's now attracting rats, so be careful at the park across the street. 99% of the comments to her post are trashing her, saying that she shouldn't air dirty laundry on Facebook, and if it was a problem, that she should call by law. I reply nicely saying that I did spring cleaning, I didn't want it ripped to shreds at the curb, but also didn't want to miss the garbage man. Everybody understands. I actually made additional friends out of it. However, I am fed up. I hate leaving my house or coming back to it as they're always on the shared porch and have often harassed me before this public shaming already. My kids don't like them either, and my daughter asked me to check if she's there before she leaves to see her friends. I am sick of this place. I call my landlord and he says that as there are 2 separate properties that he just happens to manage, he can't do anything. I feel like that's not true, but anyway. The rental market is absolutely insane and I would never be able to find something for the price I pay here and I can't afford more. So what can I do? This is going to sound super silly, but I am very happy with the results. I bought a wind chime. Not a twinkly one, but a real bonger of a wind chime. It's windy all the time. I hung it as reasonably close to their side as possible without it ever crossing to their side. None of my other neighbors hang out on their front porches anyway, so I'm not bothering them. It's small, it's petty, it makes me giggle every time I leave the house and hear it. I want to know if they're on the porch as much now. I also feel like this isn't the end. Like, I feel like they're gonna retaliate. Also, yeah, I don't feel like your landlord is being honest. Maybe I'm wrong here. I don't know a ton about laws, but at least where I'm at, I feel like they could and should do something if they manage both properties and they're next to each other. But yeah, let's read some of the comments. Someone said, you should get plants and leave the windows open and make sure they're plants that attract lots of bees. This will annoy them more since they're on the porch all the time. Bonus, you're saving the bees. Specifically milkweed, it's great for bees and it's the only flower that monarch butterflies lay eggs on. I would get one of those little like windowsill bucket type situations that's like goes outdoors but it's like a bucket, and then you can plant it in that and it like hangs from your window. That would be so cute. Someone said maybe some incense, maybe have a radio playing annoying music that is set so only she can hear. I like that incense idea, legit digging out my incense right now. The music would be ridiculously obvious as to me purposefully trying to annoy them, as I'd have to put it in front of hall half bath window. Then one other person brought up having a light that's like motion sensor and shines directly in their eyes, but they put up like a screen protector, so it doesn't work that way. I do want to say before I go any farther, I forgot to say this earlier, but this one wasn't that bad. There are some more adult themes in this episode, so if you have children, just FYI. Nothing like super crazy, but the humor is a little bit more adulty, so little FYI there. Moving on to the next petty revenge. You have the privilege of cleaning my white, creamy mess, ladies. Oh boy. Freshman year of college, I became friends with one of the girls on my room floor named Jenna. We became decent friends after we and some other people on our floor would hang out every weekend or so. Jenna and her roommate, a nice nerdy girl, lived in a double that shared a bathroom with another double. It was set up in a way that you could walk freely between the two rooms via the bathroom. Both bathroom doors had locks on both sides for privacy when you needed to use it. Well, Jenna's suite mates were these two very attractive party-type girls who gave 0 Fs and never cleaned, as in overfilling the trash can with used tampons and the like. That is gross, and it smells bad. I imagine it smells atrocious, actually. I'll refer to both of them as, I'm not going to say the word, so we're going to go with dos fricks. Jenna would occasionally complain in passing about them being inconsiderate and dirty throughout the fall semester. One day during the spring semester, I overheard from our mutual friend that while Jenna and her roommate weren't in their room, Dos Fricks came in and stole her full-length mirror. She was upset and cried at one point. I was livid. I remember reading someone's comment on some message board about a prank where you should fill up a manila folder full of shaving cream, slide the open end under the door, then stomp on it. The force of the stomp would spray it everywhere on the other side of the door. Bingo! I strolled over to the pharmacy and office supply store to pick those up, returned, and waited until it was late on a weeknight. I sporadically walked by Dos Frick's room to make sure I didn't hear any sounds, likely to be asleep. When it was time, I loaded it up as much as possible, slid my thing in, and shot my load. Holy F, it was loud. Makes sense when you're stomping on tiled floor. I quickly grabbed the envelope and ran to my room, then went to bed. I told Jenna what I did the next time I saw her, and we had a good laugh. She told me several days later that Dos Fricks asked her if she knew who did it, and that it was annoying AF to clean. She basically shrugged her shoulders. I proceeded to do it several more times before the semester ended. Don't steal things. Honestly, fair. And the clickbait title? Shockingly good. It wasn't what I thought it would be, but it was good. Now we are switching over to Am I the A-hole? Am I the a-hole for demanding my friend pay to clean my house? Here I am with probably the most disgusting am I the a-hole I have ever heard of. That is terrifying. It's winter, and so we have a humidifier going in the living room. I had a friend with her 11-year-old over. He wanted to watch a movie, so I put on Disney Plus, and his mom and I went to talk in the kitchen. We ended up stepping outside so I could show her what my plans were for our garden this spring. She's really into homesteading and had great advice. When we were done, we went back in the house and eventually went back to the living room. It smelled really weird in there, and I have a very sensitive nose. It kind of smelled like pee, so I wondered if my cats peed in there, but they were all in hiding because we had people over. It really bothered me, and I kept investigating before I realized the blue water holder of the humidifier was green. I pulled it out, and it smelled like pee. I was talking out loud while doing all this, and her son was basically like, "Yeah, I peed in that. I think it's really cool how it makes my pee just disappear." To which I immediately wanted to vomit and burn my entire house down. I was stunned and so disgusted, and the mom was shocked. She excused herself and her kid and left. It turns out he has a humidifier in his room and to help with his chapped lips and dry nose, and he's been doing that in his room for months. I threw my humidifier away and realized I never wanted to go in my living room again because there's pee mist all over the room. The mom asked if there was anything she could do to make it up to me and offered to buy me a new humidifier, but I said I'm fine with just never owning another humidifier, but I would really appreciate if she would split with me or pay the cost to have the living room professionally cleaned. I want the carpet, sofa, and drapes steam cleaned, and the walls cleaned, and every nook and cranny cleaned. The idea of even walking into my living room makes my skin crawl. She said that was too much and she can just buy me a new humidifier. She didn't plan on doing any cleaning to her son's room. She kind of sees it as a non-issue. I'm so disgusted, but I feel like she should at least split the cost of the professional cleaning. She's refusing and calling me the a-hole for trying to take advantage of the situation to get my living room cleaned. We're kind of in a standoff and I'm wondering if I'm being the a-hole. Is this really asking for too much? Absolutely not. This is disgusting. 11 years old is old enough to know better. I have a brother. My brother did some stupid things, especially when he was 11 or younger. I have a boyfriend who did stupid things when he was 11. I have friends who I've heard stories and, oh, you get the point. 11-year-old boys are notoriously doing stupid things and younger, but they are old enough to know better. They are. And the mom shouldn't have just been like, uh-oh, and then left. Like, I get that it is mortifying. I would be absolutely mortified. I would be horrified. I would be disgusted if that were my son. And I get that it's awkward, but she shouldn't have just been like, oopsies, bye, and then left. Like, I would have had my son apologize profusely. I would have had him be the one to remove the humidifier. Obviously, I'm speaking from the brain of someone who's 25 years old, doesn't have a son, but did have a brother. I would absolutely pay for cleaning. That is way not too much to ask because I also have OCD, but I grew up in a clean house. Like, my mom would do the same, and I don't think she has OCD. Like, yes, absolutely, I would pay for that because if that's what, like, it takes, yeah, and that's really not too much to ask, like, at all. It's expensive, but it's not super duper expensive. So that would be the bare minimum. Yeah, no, and I would be mortified. The way that she's like, no, I'm not cleaning my son's room any more than it needs to be. Like, it's not a big deal. That is a big deal. That's a hazard. You are breathing that in. That is disgusting. I'm so sorry. Horrifying. Top comment, not the a-hole, splitting the cleaning costs, assuming it wouldn't cost this friend more than like $100 or $200, seems pretty reasonable to me, especially when you're not asking for the humidifier to be replaced. Someone said, cost does not matter. She knew her son did this disgusting shit. That right there makes her an a-hole. But to then do it in someone else's home and not be bending over backwards to make it right is just, there are no words. This is beyond disgusting. He was nice offering to split it. She 100% is responsible. Not the a-hole. OP, I think you're being far too kind. This. Like 100%. Cost does not matter. Also, thinking about humidifiers, we have a nice humidifier and it's like an $80, $90 humidifier. So I feel like the cost of a humidifier and the cost of having someone just clean one room is similar. Like, it's comparable, at least where I am located regionally. So 100%, like, it's not that big of a deal, especially if they're splitting the cost. It might be cheaper to have that living room clean than to get like a humidifier, depending on the humidifier versus the cleaning. So yeah, I don't think you're the a-hole. It was ruled that they're not. Good. Am I the a-hole for not keeping up with my wife's cleaning demands? Let me crack my knuckles real quick, because I've got some experience in this department. I had a major fight with my wife a few hours ago, and I strongly think I'm the right, but she is so angry, I almost feel like I'm the one crazy. I'll provide context. I married my wife 3 years ago, but we have been together 6. One important thing to note is she's extremely clean. I regret not moving in together until we married because while I knew she was clean, I didn't know the full extent. Let this be a lesson to live with your partner before marriage. I don't like that because it makes me feel like would he have not married her if he knew she was this clean? I have questions. Anyway, continue. She is the reason why our house looks like a model home. She hates dishes in the sink while I'm content to let them sit for a couple days. Absolutely not. She spends her off day scrubbing bathrooms because in her mind they should be clean weekly. They should. She doesn't let me bring my shoes inside and insists I shower immediately when I get home before laying in bed. Yes, outside clothes do not belong in the bed. There are a million more things, but hopefully you have an idea. This didn't start hurting our marriage until we had kids. We have a 2-year-old and a 1-year-old. I'm a stay-at-home dad. I left work when our youngest was born, and that is when our disagreement on how clean the home needs to be started to get bad. She asks me to do most of the chores now, when it used to be primarily her, and I wouldn't mind if they were reasonable. She wants the children to have a bath every day, and I think every 1 to 3 days is fine. Absolutely not. Children need to be bathed every day. They get icky, they get gross, they need a bath every day. Like, sorry, I'm sorry if you disagree with me, but 100%. She wants all of their toys put away by the end of the day, and I think there is no point when it will be a mess again. That's the point of cleaning it every day. If you do a little bit every day, you don't have to do a ton at once. She wants the dishes done daily. Yes, because it smells and it's gross. She wants all house bedding washed weekly. This is where it's iffy. He has kids, so yes. If you don't have kids and you don't have animals that are in your bed, I understand every 2 weeks. But if you have kids that are messy and pee in the bed and get messy and dirty, and you have pets that shed and cause allergens that are in your bed, absolutely doing it once a week. I do it every Sunday. It's not that hard. Especially if you have multiple house bedding, like you have 2 comforters or you have 2 pairs of sheets. Just rotate them out, and then you can just put the new ones on, put the old ones in the laundry, and then wash them, get them ready, and so on. Anyway, continue. She wants me to vacuum weekly. Yes, as you should be. 100%. Weekly's not that much. She wants me to mop every 3 to 4 days, since in her logic the kids spend a lot of time playing on the floor. Yes. They will not be hurt or sick if I mop every 2 weeks. 2 weeks. That's twice a month. They will be hurt or sick. They're kids. They're susceptible to germs. Because I don't play along with most of her demands, she ends up being the one to do most of the housework when she gets home or her rare off days. Again, I want to add, like, does he have any pets? Things like that make a huge difference. Like, how are they going outside and inside? That does make a difference in how much you need to clean. But regardless, his timeline is way off. She works 48 hours a week, so it is a lot, but she does it to herself. Oh, she does it to herself, bro. That's what she has to do to provide for the family, because you're a stay-at-home dad. Please. I feel I do what is reasonable. This all built up to today. She got home and saw I hadn't yet washed the dishes, and there was still grease and food in some of the pans and on the countertop. Also, I hadn't yet brought in the trash cans from the previous 2 days when they were empty. I'm screaming. We have an HOA, and they fine us if we don't bring our trash can in the same day that the trash comes. 2 days is crazy. Crazy. She flew off the handle, calling me lazy and a slob. She said she would like for me to return to work, since in her eyes I'm doing a poor job and using the money to hire a weekly housekeeper and a nanny who wouldn't leave the kids in PJs all day. I got pissed and told her she is crazy and she works herself up over small things, and I will not be leaving my kids with a stranger. She packed a bag for herself and our babies and went to her mom's house. I'm furious. Am I the a-hole? Bro, not only are you the a-hole, but are you how, like, in the words of Charlotte Dobre, I watch her a lot, how are you not embarrassed? Like, you just you posted this on the internet? Sir, let's read the comments. Your stay-at-home father, of all the stuff you listed that she wants is normal things an adult does. Your standards are too low. You're the a-hole. Bathe your effing kids. This. Someone else said, out of all the things listed, bathing the kids made me recoil. I'm not the tidiest of persons. All the others I can give a sort of leeway, to a certain degree. But not bathing the children, that would be my priority. You're that a-hole, OP. That's great. Yeah. I mean, how old are the kids? Did he say that? Because, like, if the kids are a little bit older, they can't be that old, though, because they got married 3 years ago and have been together 6, which I mean the oldest is 6. 2-year-old and a 1-year-old. Okay, yeah, no, every day. Sorry. 2-year-old, 1-year-old, that's discovery phase, that's getting into things, that's, no. Like, all of the comments are basically saying, like, yeah, the wife just doesn't want to live in filth, this is normal, you're the a-hole. So he put an edit, and he said, edit. So I'm the a-hole. The common belief is I need to be help more around the house. I'll see what I can do and apologize to my wife. Thanks. He really did not want to admit that he was the a-hole, but sir, you are, in fact, the a-hole. What do you guys think about that one? Like, made my skin crawl. So I really want to know your thoughts on that one. Like, I mean, like I said, I have OCD, so am I, like, crazy? Obviously, all the things agreed with me to a certain extent. But I would like to know if you guys agree, like, what your thoughts are on this, because I am curious, like, as an adult, where do you guys stand on things like cleaning? How often do you clean? Things like that. Would I be the a-hole if I threw away an ex's family album? So I was going through a rarely used closet and I found some boxes I just threw in from a previous move. The box was placed there 13 years ago and promptly forgotten. I'm doing some spring cleaning and rediscovered it. Here lies the problem. In this box is a family photo album belonging to an ex I haven't spoken to or seen in 20 years. I was a degenerate bastard when we dated, and she to this day has me blocked on social media. Rightfully so. We have no mutual friends. I have no way of getting it to her without stalking her on social media. This album predates digital. If it's gone, it's gone. Should I just toss it? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. He's like, oh my god, no, I have to stalk her on social media. No. Like, sir, please. You're just typing in her name and seeing if she pops up. The bare minimum. Someone said, although it would be easy to, don't toss it. If you were the horrible bastard that you say you were, then getting it to her in some way would be a redeeming yourself. Even posting it to her at her work or to her family would be an option. And then he said she made it clear that she has no desire to interact with me, which is valid. Someone mentioned if I knew any of her family, I think I can track down her sister and pass it to her. I mean, did she make that clear to you 20 years ago? Because I think that when she made that clear to you, she probably didn't know about the family album. Like, this is a situation where it's like, you could reach out to her. It was 20 years ago, and like, this is something that's important. I think that what she meant by that is, don't call me for like a hookup or to get back together. Like, obviously if it's her family album, it's a little bit different. Someone said, I would do that as it's the sister's family's album too. If not, ask a friend to message her on social media, explain the situation, and ask for a good neutral address to send to. And they said, contacted the sister, the album goes in the mail tomorrow. Good. Yeah, that's something where, like, if you can't find someone, then it would be, I don't know if I would throw it out. I don't know what I would do with it. I would hope that I would be able to find someone. But you have to at least try. You can't just be like, oh man, darn, and then like throw it out. Like, no, you would be the a-hole. Last one. I, 21 female, had an excellent relationship with my roommate Matt, 21 male, until a few weeks ago. We live with two other people, Lisa, 21 female, and Rob, 25 male. Matt and I have a busy schedule. He's on a lot of committees and jobs, and I run a small business from our flat, aside from studying, working, and publishing a student magazine while struggling with a chronic mental illness. In the last few weeks, Matt has been asking Lisa and me to clean the bathroom, which we didn't do because we forgot. As simple as that. And as we are nearing the end of the term, we have a ton of important homework to do. Plus, I grew up with 3 very younger siblings, and I can tolerate a certain amount of dirt. If you grew up in the same situation or have kids, you know what I mean. Which seems to be the same for Lisa. I think Matt has tolerated our level of cleanliness because he was single. Now he has an unofficial boyfriend. This morning he asked me to clean up the scraps of paper I left in the living room, knowing very well I was always eventually throw them out in a passive-aggressive way, which he has never done before. In addition, he never studies in the living room and is often not in the apartment. It's Lisa and me who are always there, and I feel like this should be taken into consideration. I'll add that my room is a total mess, and I hate that situation, but can't really do anything about it right now, for all the reasons mentioned above. It's not like I want to be dirty, it's just that right now I have too much on my plate to do what I think is less important. Now he wants us to do a spring cleaning. Semester ends in like 2 weeks, and I don't know if he will accept to wait that much. Am I the a-hole for just not cleaning the flat right now? Yeah. Part of being an adult is scheduling in cleaning, and if you do a little bit of cleaning daily, then you don't have to do big cleanings, and it doesn't take over your life, and it doesn't get in the way of things like work and school. As someone who has multiple chronic mental illnesses, you have to do a little bit every day, even if you don't want to, and then you don't have to do all of it at once. As someone who has 3 college degrees and had a small business during those times, and it was during COVID, I get it. I like fully get it. And you still have to do it. That's just part of living with roommates. If you want to live by yourself, you can be as gross as you want. Albeit it's still gross, and you should clean and not go that long. But if you live with roommates, yeah, you have to do your part as a roommate. Like, that's just part of it. And I don't like that you're like making so many excuses instead of just being like, wait, I could do it. Like, you're kind of giving excuses. Or like, man, I'm in school. Well, yeah, so are millions of people, and their houses are still clean. Like, I just feel like there's no excuse. Sorry. Someone said, you're the a-hole. It is possible to revise really hard and still be clean. Ignoring the problem makes a small, manageable problem into something that becomes a bigger one. Exactly what I said. It's not that hard to pick up papers or clean a bathroom. Be considerate of others. It's irrelevant whether your flatmate let bad behavior slide before or not. He's made a reasonable request. Tidying might help clear your mind. It can be a really cathartic exercise. The time you save on not being annoyed by the request for cleanliness would probably have been enough time to make at least one shared space a bit more livable. This, like, your environment changes your mental state so much, and that's why it's important to be in a clean and good environment, especially from like a physical aspect, like your health. You need to be in a clean space. So yeah, the OP responded to this one and said, "Thank you for taking the time for a clear answer instead of just insulting me. I did clean what was bothering him and he didn't say anything else. He even thanked me for making the flat presentable for the landlord's inspection. I guess it's also my fault for not telling him how much I'm struggling right now. I tend to keep my feelings to myself and he is really exuberant? Sorry, words. Anyway, I'll try to keep the flat minimally clean in the future." Minimally clean? I don't like that either, but I guess that's better than nothing. Okay, well, what do you guys think? They were voted the asshole. I want to know your thoughts on all of them. Do you have a fun petty revenge or am I the a-hole story that you want to share? Then definitely let me know. I want to hear the tea, especially if you're on Spotify or YouTube where you can comment down below. Give me all the tea. So I hope that your spring cleaning is off to a great start, or if you haven't started yet, you're still enjoying the little bit of freedom you have before it's time. No, I'm kidding, because we clean a little bit often, so we don't have to do a super big clean, even though that's what spring cleaning is. Okay, I'm rambling. As you can see, I'm still a little sick, and it's affecting me. So I'm gonna go. I love you guys so much. I hope you have a great week. I will see you guys next Sunday. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, follow, all the fun things. And yeah. Bye guys. Happy March. I love you. Bye.